the phone. This is when I call 911 to report the bus driver.
Don't want me calling. Hello? Hello? Yes, I'm currently on the 325 bus, and bus drivers repeatedly drive reckless when I'm driving them.
Right.
One almost killed me, and nothing's repeatedly done about it. I tried to do a complaint and was arrested. But maybe if people haven't been concerned about my safety, what if they kill someone else? The people on the bus were trying to talk over me, so I can't do report it to me. I'm on the bus right now, and our safety's endangered. We were at a stop sign, and there was a car directly in front of the bus, but the bus driver chose to drive off with this car directly in front of us, almost hitting it. But when bus drivers are told to do this when I'm using transit, it endangers my safety. I'm sorry?
They did nothing.
The bus was at a stop sign. What's your name?
So right here, I call 911 trying to flee the United States. I just said, forget it. Let me leave.
Yeah, I gotta do something to get the hell out of this country. I don't want to be here. I need some kind of way to get out this country. So I need some direction from 911 on how I can leave this country. Nobody will do law enforcement. All my family's life is in jeopardy. I don't want to be here. What do I do to leave this country?
Nothing was done. So I'm at the bus stop right here. I don't want to play it.
Nowhere on the planet.
I'm saying. So then I'm at a bus stop and the bus just, I waited like 30 minutes and the bus just goes right past me. They've been getting away with it years. Knowing you never believe it. So the Austin Women's Shelter, people are trapping me in on the elevator, not letting me out, coming from all different directions. It just did that on its own that I'm trying to show you. I'm glad it didn't start over. So the women's shelter threatened to put me out for reporting I get harassed, let someone get in the shower with me. People are stalking me on camera footage, starting arguments, pretending like they're mentally ill, the same nonsense, raging at people that aren't there, waking me up out of my sleep, scaring me. The same thing that they do in jail on camera footage. I'm trying to report, get into Safe Alliance. Collins is covering for the domestic violence organization playing mind games. They're not helping me. Right here, I tried to report that one of the people at the shelter that got in the shower with me came at me and staff had to hold her back and then covered for it. Then I had a party trying to steal my sleeping bag that was supposed to be washing it and damaged it. Then I threatened the police and then she gave it back. So I reported that this lady attacked me and tried to take my phone. A police officer came and covered for my phone was glitching and covering for crimes and wouldn't record it. So the police officer came and I tried to report that this lady attacked me and tried to take my phone that had already harassed me at the shelter. He drove off when I was reported and almost ran over my foot. I had to hurry up and jump out the way. I was dumbfounded at how I was being treated. This police officer came to take the ignored report. It should have been on their camera footage. I went to the police department and told them I was going to be a vigilante. Since I'm not getting law enforcement, I was going to treat them the way that they treat me. Colin walks off. There were cars coming at me from multiple different directions. I reported that to him, and he walked off while I was talking.
6. That's the report number?
Yes, ma'am.
But if you guys haven't taken seriously child abuse and the other crimes I'm reporting...
I didn't say anything about anyone being on the way. Or is that...
Okay, I guess I misunderstood, but you guys haven't taken seriously any of my reports. I've never had a call from an investigator for the child abuse and someone coming at me with cars. What kind of crime is that if they repeatedly come at me with cars? I just wanted to know my rights. What's your position?
Do you have anything else to report to me today?
You don't want me to know my rights, and if someone is coming at me with a vehicle, what kind of charge would that be deliberately?
You haven't figured that out in the last 2 weeks you've been doing this?
No, no one has told me. I think that you guys are setting it up, therefore don't want me to have my rights. And have yet to get accountability for it. They don't know place. They don't want me to know nothing, period. Period.
So right here is the mall. We're going to have an issue. He cannot stand me shopping. Something's happening with my device. It's glitching. So he don't want me shopping and he strategizes. That's why I keep having all these robberies. I'm not quite certain on why the government would try to control my appearance. Nonetheless, they needed me to have a criminal trespass to keep me from having access to that mall.
Happens a lot at the shelter.
Oh, no, you're good. So what's going on?
What are you talking about? I'm waiting on the police.
So, yes. So the police hasn't came yet. I'm just here to help.
I'm not quite certain. What's your name?
It's Officer Brianna. I'm a security officer.
So right here, I get arrested for
Who's
trying to
this
report
man that's
death threats
overseeing this?
and being terrorized
But
at
there's
a
services and,
church
you know,
gateway.
are my rights being violated?
The church gets scared and won't help me try to
Because
flee
he said
abuse
that
in
other
any kind
people
of
that
way.
have value in this country can get other information.
So they're panicking and want to
I can't get
hide me
information and
and then
brochures.
won't
You're
talk
the one that was
about me
standing over
fleeing
me.
abuse.
Am I being robbed of my right to attend this service?
So they got to get on the phone
Well,
to get
yeah,
me
but I wanted to get
approval for me to get
information, and
help.
multiple different churches treat me this way. He said that you can get information on services a church provides, and I'll
So I
be
was
escorted out
arrested,
before I get it.
violated in jail.
Yeah, the brochures that he spoke about. This is my first visit here. You can get your brochure. Okay.
They want to give me a brochure that don't have any information on it. They can't give me any verbal information on any services they have to help me flee abuse. I have to have a brochure that has nothing on it. And then trying to walk to the door to meet the police to report to the death threat, I met with multiple different people waiting on me to come at me, leaving to go get arrested by the police. So these are the emails leading up to the arrest. That I was violated in jail. I did an upload of the grievances that I was reporting, how they tried to keep me from tablets, all kind of different things, of weird experiences with the inmates. They start arguments, deprive me of recreation, watching TV. I couldn't go to church, and just it was a lot of torture. He withheld tissue on some occasions, pads, tampons, lied about panties, so I couldn't have panties. And would let me use the library, regular library or law library. I never saw it. My whole false arrest. I had to exchange books with other inmates, approved reading that the government approved for me to read. I reported Colin stole my phone and perfume, and then nothing was done. I tried to get a help with OSAR. That failed. YouTube removed my jail stay, and me has false information on the channel. I pleaded. I said that I was homeless. I called a victim's advocate called me to deny me assistance. I went to Integral Care. I got a lift to get there. They said that they could help me get into a hospital. When I got there, they scammed to deny. I cried and had a meltdown on how I was being treated by the government. They were condescending and denied me hospitalization. And it was cold outside. Look at the date. And it was
want to
supposed
do
to
a report
the
on
temperature
how
was supposed to be
I
dropping.
repeatedly am denied mental health treatment and treatment. Multiple different locations do it. My rights are violated to an extreme. So I'm forced to go into hospitals involuntarily because they won't let me in voluntarily. Multiple different times they did it in Tarrant County. I recorded it, and they YouTube removed it. I wanted evidence. So what's happening when I try to go get treatment for trauma? And, from what the government has done, the government is controlling my mental health treatment, and they demand that I get treated for schizophrenia. All hospitalizations are controlled. And the police department used to guard me at the hospitals before they got incriminated. So I don't ever get treated on trauma. In fact, even at the hospital stays that I tried to show you evidence, I'm getting violated. For example, if they try to they scam so I can't be in the cafeteria. They want to control my food and mouth. So they'll give me food that is different from everyone else, that's burned or something's wrong with it, has hair in it, or problems, or undercooked. Extremely undercooked to where you can't eat it, or something weird with my food. So in order to facilitate that, they scam to keep me from cafeterias. So when they do coffee, they'll give everybody else their coffee, because these people will come at me from multiple different directions. So I try to get my food last. So then after everybody else, I'll wait till there's one other party left, and then I'll get in line. And then after they serve that person, they'll pretend like they don't see me and then leave. And then after they play games and then finally come back, they'll say they're out. Then the support groups, they say that they'll scam. They say that they can't give me mental health treatment, that you have to be at these toxic support groups where one person said, I didn't like that my brother molested me and touched me. It made me want to vomit how toxic it was. And then this other lady at another support group said, I like blowing up houses. I'm going to kill somebody. And then you're forced to be around this insanity. So you're not getting any mental health treatment, and they're stage patients, knowing you never believe it. So the government don't want me to get mental health treatment. So they felt, well, how about we deprive her of the mental health treatment and also make her hospital stay toxic? Nobody will ever believe it anyway.
So Miranda has been at a hospital stay and a lot of familiar faces, and I was getting tortured at P&S shelter in similar manners. Like whenever I loved the ice, and then when it was a hotter day, they'd scan that the ice maker wasn't working, and someone would put plastic over the ice maker. I knew it was a scam, so I just take the plastic plastic. It was a trash bag. I take the trash bag off and then use the ice maker and then put the trash back on. And then the scammers who did it, the gang stalkers, they looked disappointed that I didn't buy their con. That they would just do petty things like this. Like at the bridge, they'd have feces. So like someone would be enlisted to use the bathroom on the floor to make it disgusting. Like I said, I used to have OCD. I'd go try to take a shower and they'd watch me and monitor me and they'd remove all the shower heads. So they got me a couple times. So I'd take off all my clothes and then the shower head would be gone. I also did that at Our Daily Bread. Integral care was enlisted to deny the crisis intervention, so I called the police. If I'm having a meltdown in front of you, telling you that I need mental health treatment, I'm stuck outside in the streets, it's about to be a cold front in February, and it was a cold front. And not only did I do it, there was a lot of people I was hospitalized that said that they didn't want to die on the streets. I don't know if they were con artists, and they claimed that the government wouldn't help them either. And they didn't want to die, so they got and admitted themselves into the hospital too. So I informed the police about how people block my path and how it's petty and it's been on camera footage. And I did a report number of how I'm repeatedly denied services, treatment, medical treatment. This video is about how cars come at me from multiple different directions and evidence of it. Since they know I'm in another environment, they scammed that I had a case on dismissed charges in this new environment. The same thing they did in Fort Worth when I got to Austin. I reported the crime to the police that they were scamming the Austin court was scamming to make dismissed charges again in malice that I had been released from jail from. So the Austin court was forced to demand that I get mental health treatment and say that they would dismiss the charges to not get their felonies. They enlisted all accomplices, all parties at the domestic violence organization I was at to be accomplices to their crimes and not help in the conspiracy. I went to Health and Human Services trying to get food stamps. They denied the food stamps and then would not tell me what happened with 30-some+ reports that I've made about my daughter's abuse and what the government had done to keep me away from her. So they denied me information on a protection order to protect me from abuse that the government was enlisted in. The legal advocates denied me any legal representation and any kind of avenues to get my name changed and any kind of information on how to flee abuse. My phone was hacked and I could barely use it, couldn't use the data. They were trying to control me from recording what was going on, and my phone was stolen at the domestic violence organization. They did not want me recording my interaction that I had with the court, and they made me go through the legal advocate at this domestic violence organization that had become compromised. Services were sabotaged at this domestic violence organization. And upon my answer to the domestic violence organization that I commuted 8 hours because of holdups and things with the bus line, the Greyhound. And then out of all that madness, they told me that I can only be there 3 days. When I cried and had a meltdown at church in multiple different environments, they said that I could be there 60 days, and they tell everyone that. But other parties weren't told that. So I tried to report the death threats that I got. Officer Casilius was with my advocate, and he demanded to speak with my advocate alone, and then they became abusive, and they would walk off while I was talking and started to deny me counseling for the trauma. Right here, you can see that I'm getting stalked. So I'm getting stalked. I was heckled in front in Metro PCS by gang stalkers. They would not correct the issues with my phone, and they were condescending and abusive, and I got cursed out. And the police would not investigate the gang stalkers meeting me at my cell phone providers. The police department used to come. So now they're enlisting the gang stalkers, which they're in cahoots with, which is why they keep covering for it. They enlist the gang stalkers to be there prepared, waiting on me to interrupt me reporting the crimes going on with my devices to keep me in the problem. All legal representation has been denied. All of it. Then they decide I moved off the environment. They decided it'd just be better if I didn't have any kind of support system. So they interrupted the counseling in the scheme. They're so petty. They don't want me making online purchases knowing that you never believe it. So I have Temu glitching. I want another phone because my phone is freaking out people. And then my phone is being hacked. So at one point they demanded that I get another device because they didn't want people put it in their safety being put at risk and my other environments of being hacked. Since there's circles and groups of people that I'm acquaintances with, their devices being hacked. And the party in this environment saw something suspicious with my device and it freaked her out. So I couldn't order off Amazon, I couldn't order off Temu, and I couldn't order at Walmart. So I said, you know what, I'm going to start recording this because it's been happening years and I should have a right to make online purchases. And then when I started uploading, they allowed me to make purchases online, but sometimes they're controlled. And like this other order that's making me wait till July and it shouldn't be. So the conspiracy to violate rights, crimes, the enlisting people to deprive me of services other parties can get, protection order assistance, legal representation, programs for housing, Section 8, all kind of housing opportunity I can't get. I pay the full cost for certain things that I'm in. And, if I'm in a domestic violence crisis and there's help available, I should not be excluded from that help in those programs. That's why it's a crime to do so. So it went to this. I don't know what this is.
And this will not upload.
So immediately within an hour of within 10 or 15 minutes of activating my device, they wanted me to give me a gift. And I got multiple different harassing calls. And this has happened years. The way they pull this off is they pretend like they're looking for someone else and they're terrorizing another party. But I've had to deal with these scammers, these businesses terrorizing me before. It's happened years. I have gotten almost 300 calls in one day. And I've told them, don't call me, and then they'll call again. I've been called like 5 times in 15 minutes by one scammer saying that they were a business. You never call. Businesses don't call someone in 15 minutes 4 or 5 times. That's how I knew. They just try to hide from you that they're actually doing this. So I'm still trying to have access to my daughter to get nowhere and report the government's crimes to get nowhere, trying to get something done, to try to speak with John Wally Price to get nowhere. These calls aren't returned. So I'm trying to, party from PNS Shelter said that her phone glitched. I talked to her briefly. This is the one the car sped up like it was going to hit and she tried to cover for it. And started an argument with me and behaved odd, demanded that all the items be sent to, that she would bring all my items to a restaurant, a reservation that we had. I was at meeting someone at the restaurant before she had an opportunity to come. She was late. So to inconvenience me, we had events planned, big day planned. So she wanted me to look around all these things in malice. I stayed at the shelter. They had put me out of the residency program in corruption. And when you're not in the residency program, you have to be there at 2 every single day and lug your items around. And it's just so much mistreatment that I experience in these environments that aren't even realistic. So nonetheless, she says she remembers that my phone was hacked because I'm trying to prove that people in my circle devices are hacked. Even though the government repeatedly keeps covering for it, I need to calm down. So I'm still getting the emails that no one will investigate, gaslighting. So I get a little more comfortable and I'm dressed a little bit nicer than usual. So I immediately, the same pattern, I get prank calls. I get this, someone wants to show off some kind of way. Since I'm dressed up, I don't know exactly what this is, but I don't know how that's relevant. Jason and his wife. Then I'm out with a friend, and then I get a taco like this, the gang stalker friend. Nobody will investigate the death threats. I'm still having issues with my device. I still can't see my daughter. Police are covering for all these crimes. I'm going into internal affairs, going over heads. Nothing's done. I'm being denied all mental health treatment, counseling, therapy. I went to a location that had dental. They lied to me about the dental. They didn't want me even getting dental assistance. I can barely use my devices. They're going off on a whim. Metro PCS won't help. I get on POF, and this has happened years. Someone with a gun, it would disappear, then it come back. That's supposed to be a profile picture. POF had a person with a gun too. This was also on Facebook, and bullets. It was lipstick, and because got some new lipstick, and it was a bullet next to lipstick, knowing you'd never believe the story. Prank calls again. I'm trying to report the Austin police and the crimes that the court committed. I'm getting threats that it'll be another false arrest. And the comments are being controlled by the government. Strange experiences on Tubi. I can't get on it. It's so toxic that I put a comedy in, and it's just obscene, just with no sense. I try to get movies deliberately that aren't obscene, that just, aren't trashy, and it never fails. Like I know that you didn't believe me, but the classy women stated, I like DICKs in my mouth. It just really didn't make sense. A whole group of women, classy women. I got almost $10,000 in taxes I can't get, still to this day. Games with Uber Eats. I'm not going anywhere. Games with Uber Eats. People starting arguments, trying to start arguments, being strange, coming by, knocking at the door. This restaurant is demanding that I take an order that's not mine until I start recording. I'm at Mid-Coast trying to make purchases for used items. It's like a thrift store. I don't believe they're being honest. They said that they can't use my the funds that I have on my Cash App. I went to Sonic and had got the wrong order. And then my friend was trying to start an argument, demanding that I have this wrong order and I didn't get limes. And she didn't want to share hers because she got two. I'm trying to prove that communities are enlisted in the government's hate and abuse and corruption. And they don't care. Trying to expose that even tax preparers are in cahoots with the government's crimes to keep me away from my tax return. And how Gulf Bend was altered mental health records to not expose the government's crimes, and how they keep slandering me with schizophrenia to get away with criminal activity in all my mental health records, and nothing's been done. That's a malpractice lawsuit. So no matter what I say, even if I admit myself for the trauma and abuse I've endured, they will not, period. It has never happened. They will not treat me. They didn't want me going to the rehab because then you can get a little bit more help to deal with trauma. So they had to interrupt me even going to a rehab. Can't do that either. Harass and scam calls. I already got the number changed on my new device. I had to get my number, got more harassing calls. Issue shopping. More emails, Jason showing off, I guess, because he felt that I looked nice, that he had to show this off. I don't know what's happening here. I got that email. Then the dead bugs started surfacing when I started trying to fix up my environment. Then this gang stalking acquaintance is covering for either friend being hacked, phones being hacked, her phone being hacked, and another party's phone being hacked. That's in my circle. And in this new environment, somebody else's phone is hacked. And she has her camera covered over her phone too. Trying to see what happened to the report to Texas Rangers to get nowhere of the corruption. I asked question Gateway Church their behavior and why they witnessed police arresting me, and they knew I was in a domestic violence crisis. My call was not returned. They told me Diane Hammer was arrested for her misconduct and criminal activity. When are more arrests coming? I was invited to the movies. And it was weird. Then eventually an argument was started. And more dead bugs. More harassment shopping. And this is about a weird experience that I had that's not realistic, so I don't talk about. You'd never believe the story with what happened. So I won't tell you. I don't understand what's happening with these eggs. Cyberbullying still continues in the comments and other avenues of cyberbullying. Trying to expose the conspiracy so something can be done. Issues with the online dating. People that I'm matched with are bizarre and will even lie about what the services that POF offers for free. So for some reason, they're covering for my inability to use POF properly. These prearranged people. I'm trying to prove that I'm being catfished by one party, talking to people, multiple different people on different profiles. I need to calm down. So I believe that I'm being catfished, and I'm talking to one party that is using multiple different profiles and people to chat and monitor me. More issues dating online, just to get nowhere. Meetup group issues. More issues dating online. I just stopped. I'm not getting anywhere. That's a suggestion. I think his name is Jason something, Mimosa or something. Then they set me up, linked me up with Snoop Dogg, Keith Sweat, Tyler Perry. Defrauded out of funds for the phone. It was supposed to be unlimited data, unlimited text, and unlimited phone service. And they're charging me $20 a month for the data. Still not getting law enforcement from the police. My devices are being hacked. Crimes were committed to defraud me out of funds. And still crimes to keep me away from my child. Asking Terror Police why they didn't investigate my family sending me death threats and my family's strange behavior, while they call and start arguments and cover for the government's crimes. He told me to call him 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I did. He didn't answer the phone and would not call me back. Mind games. And then I'm exposing my family told me that if I was being murdered, they would cover for it. A family member. Then tried to frame me with mental illness. I'm exposing these weird emojis that was even on a building and by Austin Street where I was forced to live, knowing you never believe the story. Someone has a fetish with emojis. Still getting violated shopping every single time I leave. More drama with the family. I can't reach out for help. All relationships have been cut off. I have no one. That's what the government does. This is how they set up a false arrest. They make sure I'm blacklisted from all help. Then they make me start over and over again. So they don't want me to be able to call someone and say, bomb me out, because they're committing crimes to keep me in jail on the false charges. This is going on a long time. So they make sure that I'm ostracized and isolated from family, friends, churches, everyone, just like I am now. So everywhere I turn to reach out for help, there's no help present. It's on purpose. That's what abusers do. It's just unfortunate for me. The government is in part of my abuse. So more arguments with family. Can't use the POF properly. It freaked me out that this was in the descriptions for Walmart. It was in my list, but they told me that Walmart does this. They put your past purchases online because someone was showing me what I purchased and what I had by different avenues online, knowing you never believe it. So when I saw this fingernail polish, it freaked me out because that's how someone used to communicate with me in the past, knowing you never believe it. So Credit Karma says that they have something that is suspicious on my credit report. Then I'm locked out of it and can't see it for the psychological, emotional abuse aspect of it. There's something suspicious, but I can't look at it and see what it is. So I called the location and I asked them if the computer was working, if the printer was working, because I know how my life is. So I went to go print out this paperwork for the municipal court so they can dismiss these tickets. A ticket that I got, I think 2010, 2014, and a ticket I got for reporting crimes, trying to report crimes the police were committing to keep me away from my child. They gave me a ticket for that. So I went to court. They would not throw out the ticket in corruption and said that I could not report my daughter's abuse and the crimes the government committed to keep me away from my children. It can't be done. So I have that ticket, these 2 tickets left. That's what the attorney told me, Brittany Moore. Okay. Now that I have all this stuff sent, they have concocted I have a medical issue. Now I have to get a form. And perhaps if it's a good finding with this form, then I can have access to my license that the government took in corruption, knowing you'd never believe it. So trying to get things online isn't working out. It's glitching. They try to give me half my order. They ruin it.
And fellowship and
I called 10 people with the support group.
This is bizarre. Typically,
What do you want to talk about?
Well, the group. How long have you been in the program?
I've been in always.
38 years. Are you a sponsor?
I am.
Okay.
Abstinent 25 years.
Okay. Well, I need a sponsor, so.
Yeah, I'm not available for sponsorship, unfortunately. I'm full up. My sponsor won't let me.
Okay, so I called 10 people, and she said on a line that she was available to be a sponsor. I called 10 people in just this day alone. This has been happening years. So I wanted to record how these people would start arguments. I used to be in tears because I didn't know what was happening, but it's being controlled, and someone's contacting these people in all my environments, knowing that you never believe my story. So when she started trying to start an argument, I started to record because it keeps
Take on
happening.
more people, but if you're calling lots of people, you'll find one for sure. It's just a numbers game.
Let's see. Okay. Did you not want to talk?
I'm happy to talk.
Oh, okay.
It's your guy. You called, so I'm just finding out what you want to talk about. You want to talk about sponsorship? I'm not available. What else do you want to talk about? I'm happy to help. Are you new to Overeaters Anonymous? Kind of sounds like you are. Are you new?
No, I just said this is bizarre. I've never had a call like this before. Reaching out, it was open and they didn't. So the reason why I started recording, she said, "What do you want?" If you're a sponsor and you know that you're in a support group and people have approached me like this, what do you want? It's kind of condescending. So when I realized that she was probably enlisted for psychological abuse, that's when I started recording. You make small, typically, if they're not controlled, yes, so-and-so, so how's so-and-so going? They initiate or they open up avenues to be able to communicate, not a rude, what do you want? This is just a new experience, especially someone that's been in the program an exceptional amount of time. I don't want to burden you if you're not, I've reached out to multiple different people and no one returned my call. And then I did something, and then you returned my call. But I recorded. Yeah. So, are you sure that you want to talk?
I'm happy to talk. Okay.
Okay. So the experience. Maybe you could share some experience, strength, and hope.
About.
She said about what?
Were you on the meeting that I led this morning? I'm not sure where this call is coming from. I don't get calls like this too often either. Where did you get my number?
It was on a meeting. I didn't speak.
Is it the meeting from this morning?
Yes.
Okay, so you heard me share. I shared for 20 minutes. So it's that because I was on two different meetings. I've been at two OA meetings today. So you heard me share in that 20 minutes. Is that the meeting we're talking about here?
Well, I got the name at the end, and I wasn't quite sure of who shared, but I mean, if you're in the program...
That was me. I did the long share in the meeting.
Okay, so you don't do outreach and speak to people when they call you?
I do outreach. I've done 5 outreach calls and talked to 2 sponsors for an hour apiece today. So yeah, I do a lot of stuff in my 12-step programs. I do. But you're looking for a sponsor.
Well, just anyone, no one called me back, and typically people that call me back are starting arguments and rude. My life is just, like I said, really peculiar. Yeah, I mean, I used to be in tears before I realized what was going on. I mean, what can you are you willing to be encouragement and support?
Yeah, keep calling people and find a sponsor. Good luck, Kay. I don't think I'm the person for you.
One support group, they cursed me out. So I told them that I had a friend that I had linked with, and he was having issues with health. A past friend, and a situation occurred, and I didn't know if I needed to call the ambulance because he had stopped breathing. And then I just said that and he's overweight, and I said I realized the damage that obesity can, that it can cause. So then she called me the B word from nowhere, and this was an emotional point for me, realizing the damages that obesity can cause, and then why someone curses me out from nowhere. And, I wasn't recording then. I didn't know what was happening. If I'm telling you that I'm concerned about my friend's life, how are you just going to up and call me a B from nowhere? So the con was to manipulate this is that she thought I was making fun of my friend by saying that I'm concerned about his safety and his well-being with his obesity. And it gives me some indicators that I need to make some significant changes in my life. I shared that. So I'm not quite certain on how you can call someone the B word and misconstrue that. But when it's bought off and paid, you really don't have a lot of options. The tricky part is just proving it. Now Jason's on, he's just getting away with all these felonies. So now Jason is trying to communicate with me, some party claiming to be him on Christian Cupid. I deleted it. Just forget it. The government's backing me. No fear. get terrorized at the church. Police were there and the marshals. Try to get information on why they were there. No one has called me back. I'm locked out of Facebook. Still arguments with the family. Postal crimes, cyber crimes, trying to expose them that have went on years. I'm just, I was trying to expose that I was locked out. So argument has started and they try to use my son as leverage and say that do they need to call him and should know about him and still haven't got charges. So I asked for help again. I'm being ostracized and isolated in any possibility. This is what they do. Like I said, once again, when they're about to set up a false arrest, this is how I'm afraid. I got this email to me to let me know who's in control. And I want you to know this is how I feel. I don't know. They haven't done it, but who's to stop them from doing it? These men rightfully got their charges they needed to get. But these police in my environment need charges too, and they have been nowhere to be found. So I'm trying to express that this is similar to the drop. Maybe that's why people are behaving odd in this movie. She got calls that were controlled like mine, or text, and they were demanding that she do things that she didn't want to do, or they kill her son. And the target was a government witness. 255th District Court will not give me records. They're committing crimes with Attorney General Child Support Division. And they are also committing crimes to keep me away from my child. Multiple different locations, in fact, will not give me records, period. Then this is where they changed the profile picture. Multiple different things were planted for the psychological damage in Facebook, with middle fingers for profile pictures like this. I've experienced this for years. It's just the point of trying to prove it. I'm trying to show you how my abuser thinks and the things that he does not to be held accountable. This ice cream cones is significant for me. It caused a lot of chaos on Facebook years back. He said ice cream cones. Me and my daughter had just had an argument because she ate up a whole family pack of ice cream cones and I didn't get one of them. It had been like 2.5 weeks, maybe something like that, and I didn't realize they were all gone. So he said ice cream cones to let me know that he was listening in. I can't remember the fake profile page he used. And then I expressed what unicorns mean with galactic unicorn. I wrote him a story about unicorns that I emailed to him. It was like a story of integrity, telling him that he had more integrity than he thought. And he could be anything he wanted spiritually, and he had it in him. And the thanks I got for all that,
This
it's
is
multiple
why
different false
stepmom
arrests.
wanted the reality of why stepmom really wanted my address.
So I'm getting a huge bill with the Attorney General,
For child
and they terminated my rights and corruption.
so when I was
I'm not
in
supposed to
jail
get
on
it. And this also states how they tried to defraud me out of $5,800 on one occasion, and then $3,000 on another occasion. And then they would give me partial child support payments multiple different times, and it just disappeared. When I went to the Attorney General Child Support Division, which is in the descriptions of another video, they threatened to take me to jail and gave me a criminal trespass for reporting these payments were stolen. I still never got them. I don't know how much the Attorney General Child Support Division has robbed me of. Like I said, the Social Security Administration has done it, and the IRS. That's embezzlement to have someone pay child support payments and not give it to the payee. More games with the food. If the portion sizes with Uber Eats is cut in half. In malice, knowing you wouldn't believe it. I've experienced it years in jails, multiple different locations, hospitals. I'm telling you about how the words are manipulated when I watch movies. And how my phone glitches in malice. Weird portion sizes right here for Wingstop. I'm ostracized and isolated in this environment. No one will take me to the store. Everyone has started an argument. And then they closed down the group chat, the group text that I was getting hassled in. So there's no opportunity for help for me, period. And I just have to sit in it. Still trying to prove that I'm railroaded. And she exposed what the government has done, how they deny me witness protection, enforcing my phone to be hacked, still crimes going on, the subliminal messages, and mind games played when I pick up my devices, and just still trying to expose more crimes. They also control devices, exposing how they've controlled medical treatments to deprive me of it, mental health treatment, how I've been silenced in shelters and multiple different environments. Like now, if they enlist all parties to ostracize and isolate me, then, they continue to get away with more racked up felonies. And I also want this to be in here, I had to do a bill pay and have a scammer scam that I couldn't make the bill pay until I upload it. I pay rent where I'm at. And they wanted to cause issue because they ostracized and isolated me, so I can't get back and forth. If people are controlled in my environment and I'm trying to prove it, so I couldn't get to the store without getting a lift. And then they manipulated the lift to where it would be $100 one way for one lift, and then $100 back. That's $200. And it shouldn't be 200, but I've been trapped and being defrauded out of funds. So I uploaded and, then it corrected. But nonetheless, so they had that going on. So I said, you know what, I'll use the bill pay option. And that glitched until I uploaded the video, and then it finally corrected to where I can do the online bill pay. But they didn't want me to have access to easily paying my bills. And I believe if I would not have uploaded, I would not have been able to pay the bills using bill pay. This is back to the emojis. I said my abuser loves emojis. I'm pretty sure you didn't believe that. This is what by Austin Street where I was forced to live.
And it says love runs deep. And the stalker called me love. And he used other people to communicate, and he would routinely, I can't think of the names because I'm locked out of my Facebook page, but another person at multiple parties called me love. So it said love runs, and I was running, and then deep. Okay? So here's the shy person I was talking about. Right there. And then there's the cowboy. And here's the Scarface. The bleeding hands, and right there was a penis. And then I already communicated the penis situation, and then there's a penis, and then Scarface, and then the emoji. And then there's a chubby little girl with the boombox.
I love music, and that I have a childlike mentality, typically. Very naive, and I think that was attractive to manipulate and, play mind games with. So that could possibly be me. I'm like a child because I'll be pretty much used to believe anything, which got me in a lot of trouble. Okay, this right here. The I love you. It was strange to me that environment talked. I was railroaded to only live at Austin Street, and they put me out for putting on makeup, talking to men, and scammed multiple different times, stole my property, wouldn't give me mail. They said a phone didn't work after my phone glitched. I picked up the phone, removed the no working sign, and then picked up the phone, used it with no problem. It was a con to keep me from using the phone. I've experienced this at multiple different environments, including the police department. So nonetheless, I know my story is unique.
There it is. There's the big right there. See the big that he was standing at? And there's the I love you.
So I'm on the device where I have Instagram. Let's see something. Hold on. So my device is glitching. I'm trying to install Instagram to show you something. And it's saying that I don't have enough room. I deleted some items and it's still saying this. My device always covers for my abuser. I don't know what's happening. I hit Instagram and it's doing a whole bunch of things on it. My hand's nowhere near it. So I put my email address in, and the Google is supposed to save it. That's why it needed to hold me up and pretend like the storage was full. So now it's pretending like it forgot my password. Then this is how they lock me out with my real passwords. It's being held up. They got to think about it. So just log me in and then log me out again.
Just cut the leaves of tiger lily into small pieces. Let the cuts dry, then plant as many as you like, one for each pot. They root so easily, way easier than growing moth orchids. You just take a leaf down. Cut 2 knives at the bottom of the blade. Stick it in the broken bark. Remember to spray water to moisturize.
So I'm trying to show you what's going on with his site, and it's glitching. It's been completely manipulated and changed, showing most of his family. These are some older pictures showing off wealth, prior. Then it all changed. Cars, vacations. It is right here. Right there. More vacationing. Okay, look at what they have on in this photo. There's another car. Something went wrong. Snap. Please check your connection and try again. Why would something go wrong repeatedly over and over when I'm trying to expose crimes I think that this man has repeatedly committed? I'm trying to show you something where they were calling him Boaz, and that's what I called him repeatedly over and over. I called him Boaz and asked him when he was going to rescue me because I was a woman in poverty and he was a wealthy man. So that is missing, and then this is trying to cover for crimes and don't want you to see. So I have another thing. If this device still will let me connect to the internet, these are multiple different devices that are glitching.
Going
the video
to
that he
rescue
tried
me,
to hide.
Boaz. And then I teased him as Boaz all the time. And then he has an interview where they called him Boaz in this interview.
I thought I would have showed where he had on the same vest.
So here,
my device keeps glitching while I'm trying to record this and won't close and let me do things. It keeps freezing until I record. So I guess he must have felt that it was something to it because the interview that that he had at a radio station where he was saying that he was Boaz and there was a lot of women looking for a Boaz is missing. So I can't show you, but he has the same outfit on that they did in that Deep Ellum painting. Then at one point he claims to have his own app. All the suits. So the thing about the time that I spent out today, I've tried to get on POF, support groups, and move on with my life. And I just don't appreciate the government making it impossible for me to do so. And like I said, I think that it's imperative that that I address these issues because this is the same protocol and pattern that they follow each year when they set up a phosphorus. In the time that in 1 month they had 2 phosphorus in 1 month. And then they just scam or arrest me or trying to order food, detain me, come to fast food places, convenience stores, and try to set me up there. And even come to hotel rooms and try to set me up. So it's just getting more and more out of hand. Something really needs to be done to put these people under control. I don't deserve it. My family don't deserve it. Churches don't deserve it. All the people around me, their devices getting hacked. None of us deserve it. And the only thing that caused all of this, I'm targeted because the government does not want to go to prison for their crimes. They feel that they have more power, more prestige, and they feel that the best thing for them is to send people to jail for their crimes. They have the power to abuse, so that's what they repeatedly do. I'll send you to jail for crimes I repeatedly keep committing. No one has stopped them.